Hello guys and girls, it's Nick Dutch here, and what we're doing today is to read through a section of a website which is debunkingskeptics.com /page2.htm. The subject is extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, which is something that the alleged skeptics, which of course aren't skeptics, they're cynics, tend to say to people like me who are interested in supernatural things. Now let's just go through it bit by bit. I'm going to read through the whole thing. What the hell? We'll take a couple of little videos, but that'll be fine. From the top. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This is one of the core mantras of hard-nosed skeptics and is usually presented like this. If my friend told me that on the way here he was delayed because his car had got a flat tire, then I would believe him because it's an ordinary claim. However, if he claimed that on his way here he was temporarily abducted by aliens in a UFO, then I would not believe his claim because it's extraordinary in nature. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Now, it would help if these skeptics who proclaim this argument specify what they would accept as extraordinary evidence. Otherwise, arbitrarily stating this argument gives one an out no matter what evidence is shown, and a way to move the goalpost endlessly. While it is reasonable to expect higher standards of evidence for more extraordinary claims, there are nevertheless a few problems to keep in mind. First of all, this argument gives skeptics a shady and underhand way to move the goalposts any way they like. By not defining the standards for extraordinary, they are free to move the goalposts up further anytime their standards have been met on pure semantics, which they have often done, and with me as well, I'll point out. Definitions of what are extraordinary claims vary based upon prior beliefs and experiences. Not everyone agrees on whether a claim is extraordinary or ordinary. Suppose we were fish, or it says here fishes, but suppose we were fishes, for example, and lived underwater our whole lives without ever seeing or hearing about land. The claim of land existing above water would be an extraordinary claim to us, though not to the creatures living on the land above. Now, obviously, just because the claim of land is extraordinary to us as fish does not mean that the land does not exist. The point is that extraordinary claims are not extraordinary to everybody. What is extraordinary to some is ordinary and natural to others depending upon their experience and level of consciousness. For example, the internal body energy of Qigong or Qigong as a mystical force to Westerners, but has been natural part of everyday life for thousands of years in China. Therefore, Qi is used, felt, and observed by its practitioners much the same as the effects of gravity are felt and observed by us. Likewise, having astral projections or out-of-body experiences are extraordinary to those who've never experienced them, but for those who have, they're an ordinary part of life. In the same way, our cars, radios, cell phones are extraordinary to tribal natives in remote parts of Africa, but ordinary to us. The best solution, in my opinion, so it says here, is for everybody to put their cards on the table by honestly specifying their prior beliefs. This set of standards for what is to be expected and leads to better mutual understanding of each other. Okay, although this rule is a good and general guideline, the fact that three possible alternatives exist make this rule fallible. It is possible for something to exist without leaving behind collectible evidence as a souvenir to us. For example, planes, radio waves, electromagnetism, and light move around without leaving hard evidence, yet they exist. Therefore, extraordinary phenomena can exist without leaving behind extraordinary evidence. It is possible for something to exist, yet for the existence for it has not been found or understood yet, which is the case for almost every discovery in history, from fire and wheels to gunpowder and gravity, to planets and atoms and electromagnetism. It is possible that the evidence is already there, but that it is subject to interpretation, making it controversial. This is true, for instance, of the alleged mysterious implants found by doctors and surgeons in alleged alien abductees. Even when something leaves a trail, residue, or mark, they are subject to interpretation anyway. Of course, some skeptics have argued that all these things are possible, but not probable. Hence the requirement for extraordinary evidence. However, in order to really know all that is probable and improbable in the universe and reality, that would require that one have complete knowledge of every dimension and every reality that exists in the universe and beyond. No one, neither skeptic nor believer, has that kind of knowledge. Therefore, it would be more accurate to state that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence to convince skeptics, but not necessarily to exist in objective reality. Okay? Now, the argument is based upon unproven premise. It's based upon the premise that paranormal phenomena are either impossible or extremely improbable. The reason it reflects this premise is obvious. Someone who believes that paranormal events are impossible is obviously going to need a lot more proof than someone who believes that they are possible and normal. However, just because miracles, ESP, sightings of apparitions, out-of-body experiences haven't happened to skeptics does not mean to say they haven't happened to others. Likewise, just because I haven't been to Spain doesn't mean to say that everyone who states that Spain exists is mistaken or deluded. In order for one to know what is impossible or improbable, one would have to be an all-knowing creator of the universe who possesses every knowledge that there is. But none of these hard-nosed skeptics are anywhere near that level. So their assumption that paranormal events are impossible is, in my worldview, baseless. As scientist and author Arthur C. Clarke states in his first law, when a distinguished but elderly scientist states that something is possible, he is almost certainly right. When he states that something is impossible, he is very probably wrong. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera now, do a second video. See you in a bit.